Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
So I'm pretty sure I'm being gang-stalked by the administration and lackeys of my building complex. To cut a long story short, there's a leak in my building that I've consulted with other professional plumbers, and they said it's pretty much impossible to be my fault. So admin is demanding access to my apartment without any evidence or documentation proving this leak is coming from me. It's on a wall facing the door of my apartment where none of my pipes run. Legally, I don't have to give them access if they don't supply proof, and they haven't even documented the leak in question. It may be an entirely different leak they have chosen to not make me aware of, which again, legally they must. So now they're using the CCTV monitoring system to bang on my door as soon as I get home, and one of the security guys followed me to a bus stop and literally just stood and stared at me. I mean, it has gotten wild. Clearly this isn't about the leak because they are flat out refusing to scan the area with a thermo leak finder. Why are they trying to get into my home? I'm going to the police tomorrow because right now they're trying to force entry without any proof. They're literally following me about me business, and they're trying to force me to give them my personal telephone number and email, most likely to fill out fake invoices other neighbors caught them doing, which legally I'm not required to do.
I guarantee you the police won't take you seriously because gangstalking is 99.9% paranoid schizophrenia psychosis.
I have 3 letters which I ask for documentation, and 3 letters which have flat out ignored this request. Legally, they couldn't even bring a case against me because they have no proof of checks they have run, if any at all. It was my bad to not go up to the door and record through the keyhole, and I should have been smart enough to record the guy at the bus stop, but I was way too weirded out to think rationally. I'm positive I can bring a case against them on trying to force entry at the bare minimum. The weirdest thing is this kicked off when I changed one of the locks on my door. Letters have gone missing before, pizzas have been sent to my door, plant pots even, and I have a stack of "Sell Your Apartment With Us" flyers in my post box. My apartment is in a coveted location because the area got gentrified, so I'm pretty sure someone is trying to force me to sell it.
Welcome to the clown world. Just make fun of them. They are your bodyguards. As a VIP targeted individual, you get those for free. I would not consider police. They are corrupt and not on your side. Better not get into trouble with them. Last thing you want is them labeling you as schizo and then getting mandatory treatment. You need to keep a leveled mind and not let anyone aggress you. Difficult, but making fun helps.
Go into town a few weeks back. Waiting in the queue. Some guy looking at me like he's trying to catch my attention. Finally catches it. Starts smiling and puts his arms out like he's going to give me a hug. Have no idea who he is. Tell him he has me confused with someone else.
No, I haven't. You're an on, right?
Yeah, told me he's met me before a few times. Have to apologize because I have no idea who he is. Ask where he's met me. Can't remember, but he knows he's met me. Starts mentioning random things about me that are all true, but can't recall how he knows them or me. Seems nice enough at least, and we stand there trying to work out how he knows me. Mentions he's waiting to meet his friend. The friend turns up. Looks at me.
Hey Anon, how's it going?
No idea who he is either. These two weren't friends when they claimed to have met me, and it happened independently. But friend number 2 seems to know just as much stuff about me as this first dude. Start walking home. Some random person asks me if I have a light. Give him one. Does a double take and starts smiling.
I haven't seen you in years, Anon. How are you?
No idea who this person is. FaceTimes his friend.
Look who I'm with.
Guy on the phone seems to get excited. He also knows who I am. Starts reeling off things about me that only close friends or family would know. Ask them how they know me. They can't recall. They just know for sure they've both met me before a few times. Get home and lock all of my doors. Is this a gang stalking thing? Something vaguely similar happened about 15 years ago too, and I never got to the bottom of that one yet. What's the point in gang stalking though? Why would they target me, assuming that's even what it was? I don't want to start getting aggressive with people I might have met at a family wedding or something and just can't remember. Like I say, there's only that one from about 15 years ago, but it was only vaguely similar and it was only one person, about 17 or 18 with a cute girlfriend, shopping in town in this semi-mall. She goes into some woman's shop and I wait outside. See other groups of boyfriends and husbands waiting outside too. Stand on the other side of the entrance to them alone. Well-dressed fella comes over with lots of bags and does the old
Women and shopping, eh? Haha.
head ... yeah. Don't want to make small talk with anyone, so just keep giving him short answers so he'll get the hint. He doesn't. Just ask small talk things really. Where I've been shopping, if it's my girlfriend or sister I'm waiting for, what I have planned for the day, that sort of stuff. Says he's shopping with his wife and he's on bag carrying duty. Has like a dozen of those thick cardboard type bags you get from clothes shops. Head ... yeah ... I know how that is. Breaks off mid-sentence and says his wife is coming out, so it's time to go. Yeah, man, have a good one.
See you around, anon.
Walks off really briskly by himself. As soon as he leaves, girlfriend turns up. Asks who, just someone random.
Yeah, but who?
Don't know, I didn't get his name. Asks why I gave him mine. I did not. Must have overheard girlfriend or something say it when she went into the shop. Start leaving semi-mall. Right at the entrance there's about a dozen of those thick cardboard type bags you get from clothes shops. But no one is around guarding them to make sure they don't get stolen. Can't resist taking a peek. They're all empty. Never saw him again, although I didn't go back to that semi-mall for about 4 years. It was just weird.
Gang stalking is simply a form of community mobbing and organized stalking combined. Just like you have workplace mobbing and online mobbing, which are both fully recognized as legitimate, this is the community form. Gang stalking is organized harassment at its best. It is the targeting of an individual for revenge, jealousy, sport, or to keep them quiet, etc. It's organized, widespread, and growing. Some describe this form of harassment as a psychological attack that can completely destroy a person's life, while leaving little or no evidence to incriminate the perpetrators. 2. Who gets targeted? The people getting targeted seem to be single, woman, outspoken individuals, whistleblowers, dissidents, people who have gone against large corporations, etc. 3. Goals of this hate campaign. The goal is to sensitize the target to a stimuli, isolate the target, make them destitute. The secondary goals seem to be to make the target homeless, jobless, give them a breakdown, and the primary goal seems to be to drive the target to self-termination. 4. Who gang stalks? The surprising thing is that gang stalkers can be found in every level of society. There is no real age barrier, gender barrier, and a variety of groups do participate. In almost every occupation in society you can find people who are going along with this. Gang stalking for many is seen as a game, a sport to be played with another individual's life. Many do not understand or care that the end consequence of this game is to destroy a person. 5. Why they gang stalk? It is conceivable that the participants in the harassment don't even know why the person has been targeted, nor would most of these individuals have any personal stake in harassing the victim. Gang stalking is in both an addictive behavior as well as a form of entertainment for the stalkers. There is a vicious kind of pleasure that they derive from bullying their victim. Clearly they like the feeling of being in control. Like our society's current obsession with reality TV, this activity must inevitably gain popularity as the ultimate experience of reality entertainment. To the perpetrators, their targets are merely their prey, in a game that never ends. But make no mistake, whatever the reasoning behind it, this is a vicious and calculated hate crime. Others are blackmailed or forced into taking part in this activity. Others go along with it because they want to fit in and feel part of something that is large and powerful. Some are part of community groups who believe they are targeting an undesirable. Some are part of the informant groups within cities.
Most of my neighbors and a bunch of random people are spying on me every day. They repeat things I say and do inside my house as they walk in front of my house. I live near a busy intersection. Lots of people whom I've never met in my life suddenly know my name, and what I've said and done really makes it think
Same here, man. Same here. I've honestly gotten used to it at this point, and the grunt of it has worn off. I'm just fascinated about how driven the vultures are and how many people are involved and connected to stalking me. If you just act like it doesn't affect you or you're oblivious to their stalking, it pisses them off, and they'll try less or more to see if they can get a reaction. Don't react unless you're in physical danger because it feeds them. Just act like you don't care. I'm less scared and more fascinated on how it's gotten to this point. I've put most of the pieces of this puzzle together, but why so much effort? I guess if you have enough people involved and they all play a small part, it adds up to a lot for you because you're just a single person.
Based, you would not believe how any Gangstalkers target me right now. Even people in my adopted family gang stalk me, try to harass and spy on me. Neighbors, coworkers, acquaintances. I often wonder how much of my life has been just fake, planned encounters, deceit. One tactic they use, which I will share with you now, is they pretend to be at odds with others in their club in order to sow discord, just like how before the president was always one of two major controlled parties in the end. They pretend to argue with each other, even pretend to hate each other, usually over minor disagreements that give them an excuse, but in reality they are all working together. When you find one of them out, you can find many more just by association. Never ever eat or drink anything these narcissistic sociopaths give you. You can bet it would be poisoned in some way, either to hurt you or make you more susceptible to whatever they are trying to do with you, or all of the above.
Well, in the end, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, but what you think about yourself. Never lie to yourself. You know it's always some loser with nothing else better to do, blindly following someone else's orders. And hey, if you're important enough for all these people to plan and collaborate just to get a tiny reaction out of you, that means you're worth something and they know it. Which is why they're going through all the trouble. Better don't give a reaction and let them waste their time. Unless you're in physical danger, of course. What does it matter what people think who don't matter to you anyway? Don't let them fool you, just other people weak enough to be fooled. You know who you are and none of their deceit can change it.
They are possessed by demons.
I don't think the government can feasibly employ that many people to be Gangstalkers considering how many people get stalked. The secret would have been leaked more often than not. Some are obviously employed by them, but a lot of people are low-key possessed, so they definitely fulfill a similar role in harassing less important individuals like the posters on this board. Just my theory on it anyways.
Real gangstalking is basically when you have done something relevant against the interests of an organization, and generally they wants to assassinate you, destroy your proofs about their conspiracy/corruption, or take you away from some place. There is that story about a guy called John Lang in Fresno, California. He has a YouTube channel, a blog, and was harassed by Fresno Police Department because he uploaded proofs about them doing drug trafficking in Fresno. He uploaded videos of his stalking by the police in front of his house. He was assassinated by them and his house was burned. It's considered by the press as a self-termination. So nobody will send people to stalk you if you have done nothing against powerful people. Doing something is not just talking on the internet but taking actions in the real world. If you are famous and do something, you are often in danger. It's often related to money business when they decide to finish you off.
Driving home from a friend's house. Get fast food in a place very familiar to me and close to my house. A bizarre, giant black van is parked in the parking lot. Only parks there after I park. A computer screen reflects on the visage of a white, bald male from within the black windows. I eat my food while we watch each other. They idle and make weird computer noises. As soon as I leave, around 15 minutes later, they obnoxiously follow me. All the way home, I seem to lose them at one point on the 10-15-minute drive. Have a slight visual hallucination on the way home, almost a turnip nightcrawler shadow. Black van goes away as I approach my street. A few days later, chilling home alone, high school age. Walk outside next to my car to have a smoke. An identical black van comes down my road. A very out-of-the-way, strange region. A faux Girl Scout walks up my long, long driveway. Upon seeing her, I feel an utter visceral fear. Run inside, view her from the second story. She halts at the top of the driveway. Her gaze drifts mechanically from where I previously stood to where I looked through the window. She retreats back down the driveway, gets in the van. Bye-bye, have fun explaining. It confuses me to this day, and nobody in my life can explain or properly empathize, except for my cousin, who experienced high strangeness with black vans both with and without me after I told him. That is a Greentext in itself if you guys are interested. Chilling with cousin in his backwoods, can see through the woods to a very high-class neighborhood. We are just messing around, talking about animals that we see and hear, moving around logs and stuff. Black van visible on the little road through the woods. Stops directly in front of our position. We reflexively duck down. We keep looking at each other, giving the WTF expression and gaping our mouths like soys. The van is making a noise. What the heck, it literally sounds like Siri or some AI voice just talking alongside a sort of ambient police chatter. But it's not police chatter. It's Siri talking to itself at length. A computer screen is just barely visible inside. Must be a cop, right? A bunch of police and police sirens make a bunch of noise suddenly nearby. They're all heading in a long line towards somewhere else. This car does not follow them, nor does it resemble a cop. We are compelled to leave by something. I can't quite remember why, but we got scared, weird buzzing noises and strange ambient fear. Similar fear to when I saw the other phenomena. We leave the woods and exit out onto a suburban little street right near his house. We see well, I'm not sure exactly, but it looked like a black van for a second, and then a weirdly dressed girl walking towards us. She sort of fades out of view like I don't know how to describe it, but I have never seen anything remotely as confusing. We can't decide if she was on a bike or not. I thought I recalled seeing her on a bike, but my cousin just glares at me like I'm losing my mind. Cousin becomes fascinated by the subject and begins questioning me on my original black van experiences. He views this as proof of my story, and I tried to tell him these were not as scary as the original.
Hey folks, so I managed to get jailed when self-learning how to gang stalk. I've been using the local river and woods trail to basically loiter around waiting for a suitable target to follow. Typically it's dudes jogging or dog walkers, and if you think about it, that's the last sort of confrontation you'd want to get into, so I've decided small, singular women would be fine, as would elderly types. Goal has been to track them from a distance without them knowing. As once I've got those skills learned, my application to become a real government gang stalker will beat any competition. Turns out one of the small women was a police officer. She completely made up some story about indecent exposure, and some meatheads threw me in the back of a van. No matter how many times I told them I wanted to be on their side, they just asked the same dumb questions. Do you guys think I've blown it now and I'll never get a real government role? Or maybe do you think this shows initiative, a commitment, and that I can face up to challenges? Also, I think I'm going to switch to the graveyard for future training events. New faces, lots of solitary people who are very emotional, perfect to follow about and hide behind tombstones and stuff.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.
Remember to check out the Odyssey page in the description for a second archive of the channel's videos.
There's also a Rumble archive as a backup.